Hi, book nerds. My name is Jess Shirvington, and I'm here today to talk to you about my new book, One Past Midnight, which I am super excited about. And I just wanted to thank Jean so much for hosting the blog tour with my publishers, Bloomsbury. And it's awesome to have bloggers who are so incredibly supportive and put so much hard work into making these things happen. And as an author, I couldn't be more grateful. One Past Midnight is my sixth novel. I have a 5-book series called the Embrace series, which has been coming out over the past couple of years. Um, for me, it was a huge challenge to go out and write a standalone after being so entrenched in a series for so long. And also, um, there was that daunting factor where I was thinking to myself, can I actually do this? Can I write something that isn't focused on Violet, who was the main character of my series? So I wanted to give myself a really good challenge, and I decided that I wanted to write a standalone because coming off a big series, I thought that that would be a really interesting way to approach things. And I also wanted to write something very different, so not another urban fantasy. So it was really about finding a balance between the stories that I had written and the stories that I wanted to write. And one of the key themes that often came up in the Embrace series was the idea of choice and consequence. And that's something that fascinates me and something I knew I really wanted to keep working with. So that was the basis of Sabine's story. And then on top of that, I wanted to be able to deal with some of the darker issues that face teenage years, things that perhaps sometimes we avoid talking about. But I also didn't want to go all the way there in terms of darkness. I didn't want it to be overly confronting for young adults to read. I wanted it to be approachable. So that was also an element that I sort of threw into the mixing pot. And so all of this led to the creation of Sabine's character. And Sabine lives every day twice. No 2 days are ever the same. On the first day, she is with her family in Roxbury, which is a pretty down and out area of Boston. She has her family, friends, school, and at midnight every night she shifts into her other life, which is in Wellesley, a very well-to-do area just outside of Boston. She has her family, her friends, her school, but they're all different. The only thing that is the same is her, and yet she can't tell anyone the truth because, of course, who would believe her? There is very little way for her to prove it and very little physical evidence that she can create. So, as an author, I spent a lot of time sitting down and nutting out what I thought the pros and cons of Sabine's amazing 2 lives could be. And at first I was sort of like, wow, this would be really cool, right? You get to do all these things. You could experiment in one life. You could try things out first and see if they work. You could do 2 university degrees. What you could learn in that time would be amazing. And then I started thinking about all the negatives, and it really came down to this one huge negative, which was that for the people in your life that would mean the most to you, and and that you would want to be with them all the time, the people that you love, you could only ever be with them half your life, and they could only ever love completely half of you because they would never know the other half. And that made me really sad for Sabine, and that really started me on the journey of trying to find a solution for her. And it opens up this sort of world of very risky and dangerous experiments for Sabine, and it's also a road to discovery and the people along that road that change her. But also, it's this story about a girl who's so absorbed with what's happening in her life, her lives, that she fails to see so many things that are happening around her as well. And I think that that's often the case when things seem so hard for teenagers and young adults. We can very quickly become insular, and the consequences of that can sometimes be quite catastrophic. So that really came into Sabine's story as well. But I will leave it there because I don't want to give everything away, and I want you to read it, and I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy the characters and the choices and the consequences that happen throughout One Past Midnight. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in and watching this, and thank you to Jean, and stop by Jean's site and leave a comment, or stop by my site, which is just jessicashirvington.com. Come and see me on Goodreads, whatever you want to do. I want to hear what you think of it, and mostly I hope you enjoy it. Okay, see you later.